All right, I wanted to get some news from 1976. So, as we're reading this story about Sadella and Rita and Bob and Cindy and Esther and Sandra and one bag of woman, enough gal in a bungle, we could actually kind of feel the temperature of what was happening. Today, we're going to take a look at some paper clippings because we have some questions as to the validity of the things we're reading in the book. So I wanted to cross-reference something Sadella and Rita said in her book with what I found in the paper. So this is Saturday, November the 20th, 1976, a British newspaper called the Daily Mirror, okay? And the title says, "Pot Smoking Bob's My Guy," says Cindy. That is a nice light in which to put your guy. Miss World's wild man. And who, of all the photogenic pictures of Bob, who did this? I don't even know what song he's singing in this moment, okay? But anyway, Cindy's over here polished with lipstick, eye pencil, and eyeshadow, okay? So let's jump into it. The reggae king, pop singer, Bob Marley, the wild man who has a real lust for life. I think the writer was trying to be funny with that whole real lust for life. "I have 9 children by 7 girls," he claimed. Hmm? They look an odd couple. Cool Cindy Breakspeare, the new Miss World, and Bob Marley, the wild man of pop. Because you know they like painting words, painting imagery with their words, okay? But they're in love, according to Cindy, 22-year-old Miss Jamaica. "Bob's my boyfriend," quote unquote. So she's allowed to come to the press, the World Wide Web, and say, "Bob's my boyfriend." But Rita, you stay right over there and say that I'm your brother, okay? We're in the circle, Rita, we're in the circle. So anyway, "Bob's my boyfriend," she announced in London yesterday. So this is something that you volunteered to the people. Right after you won Miss World, the very next thing, not "I'm going to cure world hunger" or whatever it is that you say you wanted to do. The very next thing you do is say that this guy is your boyfriend. It sounds PR-ish. It says Bob, a 31-year-old Jamaican, is a reggae singer with a rare lust for life. Or sorry, let me read that again. Bob, a 31-year-old Jamaican, is a reggae superstar with a rare lust for life. Okay? He says he has fathered 9 children by 7 girls. So people keep talking about, "Oh, why are you in the people in personal life?" Who told him to come to the personal, bring his personal life to the paper? It says he smokes a pound of weed a day. Or they called it pot. A pound? Wow. And as a member of the mystical Rastafari movement, he believes it is morally wrong to comb his hair. You see how they set up Bob and they set up Cindy to this Beauty and the Beast kind of vibration? Cindy, just opposed to the wild man, right? A health-loving vegetarian, declined yesterday to divulge any details of her romance with Marley. Cindy, you already came and told him that it's your boyfriend. He's your boyfriend. Why did you do that? And then be like, "But I'm not going to tell you anymore." Sounds like public relations. After her Miss World victory, she said she would love to marry and settle down with children. I wonder to whom? To whom did she want to marry and settle down with children? We're going to read a little bit more about that in Sadella's book. But getting Marley to marry and settle down with her might be difficult right now. What in all of Ronald is being shady right now, okay? The writer of this article. He apparently has plans to divorce his legal wife, Rita. I'm going to read that again. He apparently has no plans to divorce his legal wife, Rita. So how is it later on in Sadella's book, this is 1976. In Sadella's book, we're going to read about it. Damien is born, and in that book, they have Cindy saying that she heard he was married, but Bob denies it. And then in this paper, they're saying that he has no plans to divorce Rita. It says Marley and Cindy are often seen together in Jamaica. Mhm. The singer's manager, Don Taylor, said in New York last night, "We deal with love in a much," oh, sorry, this is Don Taylor talking. Yeah, so we deal with love in a much more relaxed way in the Caribbean. Really, Don? A slackness. Slackness is what we're reading about. That is relaxed. Very relaxed. It goes on to say, vanished. Bob loves all his kids and takes good care of his family. I think some of them would like to have a sidebar conversation with that. At this time, it says he doesn't live at home much. I guess meaning, I don't know where he meant by at home, quote unquote. He's out of, or a type of gypsy. He lives everywhere. And I'm supposing that this is Don Taylor speaking. No, listen good, because this is like somebody scanned this in, so it's a little difficult to read. So I'm trying. Y'all want to see me in this computer right now. I know Sydney well. This is what Donna said. She and Bob are good friends, quote unquote. But I don't know of any special relationship between them. Woo! What a bam bam. If he was going to get divorced, I would be the first to know. Don Taylor is out here mashing up dolly houses. Him a bust glad bag. Him no hear said, oh man say, Bob's my boyfriend. So Don, the manager, oh you go come tell the people them say, you don't know nothing about me outside a good friend. So far in this art, we have too much sus. We have he's my boyfriend, I want to get married, right? Then we have the writer saying he has no he's not gonna divorce Rita anytime soon. And Don Taylor saying she's just a friend. And he said he's just a friend. Sorry, anyway. Meanwhile, Marley was lying low. A friend said in Kingston, Jamaica's capital, Bob seems to have vanished from the usual, I don't know if this is spots or hangouts or whatever that says. I bet he's off enjoying himself somewhere. So let's go ahead and take a quick break and then go into what Rita, and she no name Rita Marley because me married her, She named Rita Marley because she playing at the band. Let's go to commercial and then go ahead and read this real quick. I hope you're enjoying the reading. Listen, this is brought to you by Open Book Media. It's an awesome site and it has on it all type of articles if you are interested in all things literature. So we have information about this particular book club, as you see here, all of the videos beautifully laid out for you, as well as your story. I, Amuna, think everyone's story is important. So I created a free course to help you to get to write your own life's story. We even have writing contests if you need to get your creative juices going. And if you are interested, like who is this lady who's reading me stories and having me cracking up, you can learn a little bit more about me as well. So let's cross-reference that news article. So that was in 1976, November timeline. Remember, December, if I'm not mistaken, the incident, the assassination attempt happened. So this is coming from Rita, right? At the time of the shooting, Sydney Breakspear had just won the 1976 Miss World title. Hence the article we just saw. I hadn't even known that Chris Backwell had sponsored her to the contest, but Bob had and was little more prepared for the eventuality of her winning. Upon her winning, she declares Bob is a man. That's the article we just saw. After she won, she had planned to do a movie to be called Beauty and the Beast. And as we can see, they typed her as the beauty and him as the wild man, right? So she soon arrived in Nassau, that's after the shooting, and I suppose they abandoned their plans to make the movie because I never heard of it again. She wouldn't dare to stay where we were. Listen to Rita like subtly. People like, oh, she's subtly telling you how she really feels in her heart of hearts. She wouldn't dare. That means she could have never so bright. She could have never so brazen. If you come clap her backside with shot we there. This is what I didn't say that. Rita said that, right? She says here, because no, she goes on to say, of course, but she came in from London and stayed in a hotel. And there's another article that we're going to take a look at where she slips away, right? Because her duties were overseas and then she slips away. It says, and he would visit her there, he being Bob. Cindy and Cindy's mother, it was later revealed, I wonder by who, had expectations that were never fulfilled. And we're gonna read the revelation in a minute, okay? I guess like any young girl, she was 22 at the time, she wanted to get married and was acting on the premise that this would eventually happen. This is before Belly, because she gets the Belly at the end of her tenure as Miss World, okay? Her mother asked Cedella Booker, so Rita is referring to Cedella. What the mother did ask her, why doesn't Bob get his divorce? Why? People like, what's going on? She put that in the paper, or actually Don Taylor puts it in the paper. So I suppose that this question came up as we just read in the article. He promised Cindy that they were going to get married and he's still living with Rita. So where on the Most High's fruitful, abundant, green, luscious earth, where the earth is the Most High's and the fullness thereof, where would Cindy Breakspear mother get such a notion that Bob promised Cindy that they were going to get married and he's still with Rita? So the mother is confused. She's perplexed. At this time, according to this narrative, she's not pregnant yet. And the question is, why aren't you divorced? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on? You don't like her, that gal de Rita. So what's the holdup, honey? And so much so that the mother says, but mom's just said, referring to Cedella, just stop there. Don't touch that line. Because although she was interested in Bob's different relationships, so Rita's acknowledging that Bob's mother, Cedella, was kind of playing two sides in the sense of, uh, like people are saying, friendly with the extracurricular women, right? So she's acknowledging in this book, even though she knew that she was interested in the different girls that he would bring to see her, she always gave me that love and respect. Hmm. So Cedella said, Rita referenced Cedella, Cedella referenced Rita, and Cedella referenced newspaper. So here she's recounting, if the Rasta brethren didn't approve of Nesta and Sydney, so he understood that, bro, what are you doing? Just like today, 40 years later, we're looking like, what were you doing? Then they were asking, what were you doing? Neither did her own family. This is Cedella talking. I'm gonna jump down. This is after Damien is born. It says here that concerning the mother, she says, she looked flustered, to tell you the truth. She said, Cindy has a baby for your son, and yet he has Rita too. So Rita is given the story of before the belly. Cedella's given the story after. All right. And she's saying that Cindy hopped on a plane, and we're going to look at that article. And after the shooting, she came, took herself down, and she came to Bahamas where they were after they left from the concert. And now she went till she catch her belly. And now the mother's like, okay, where's this baby at? Where's the marriage? And she says, she looked fussy, to tell you the truth. She said, Cindy has a baby for your son, and yet he has Rita too. Well, I replied, Nesta married to Rita. What? She exclaimed. I didn't know that. I don't believe you, I shot back, because everything Nesta does come in the newspaper. And that very article that we just read actually says that he's married to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to stop calling her Rita because Nesta calls her Rita. So you knew that he was married to Rita. It's in the paper, but yet here you are playing. What? Cindy, who was standing nearby, chimed in. Yes, I heard that Bob was married. You heard? You were living at Hope Road. You heard? I thought later on, Rita is over there selling Ital food at Hope Road. And how did you hear? And she's there occasionally doing rehearsals, selling Ital food out of the front of the shop. I'm confused how you heard.
but he never admitted it to me. Well, I said, that's Nesta, but he's married, and to Rita. Cindy's mother fumed and looked vexed. I don't mind having Bob's children, Cindy said coolly. That's what she said in the newspaper article. I love children. I'd like to have about 10 of them. And the mother says, Bob wants to have his cake and eat it too, grumbled Cindy's mother. I'm going to leave it right there. Why? Because we saw it in the newspaper. We saw it in this book. So people are like, oh, there's some holes. I understand. I just want to know which one of them. And when I find something to validate what's in the book, because I want to see the veracity of the text. I want to see how accurate it is. I try to cross-reference. So now before I go, let's take a look at the other article when Cindy steals away and comes into Bahamas because she want to go look for her man. Where she here didn't have problems. All right?
So look at young Cindy. Miss World. Painted nail, eye, makeup, lipstick where Baba tell her to wipe off her face. Miss World goes into hiding. Remember, Rita just said that when it happened, they went to a secluded location at that time. Cindy, the beauty who couldn't wait to get back to the sun and her singer boyfriend, all over the paper. She the sister. She's Sarah in Egypt, right? Rita is. But she could go around in the papers, keep calling him your boyfriend. Now, if he didn't want her to say that he was her boyfriend in the paper, I'm quite sure he would have let that be known. But he let it rock, right? Cindy slips away to her wild man of pop. And again, with that picture, I'm mad at y'all for this, okay? Miss World, lovely Cindy Breakspear, was in hiding last night. The Jamaican beauty vanished into a drama involving her bizarre boyfriend, reggae singer star Bob Marley. She slipped quietly back to the Caribbean island last week after canceling all her engagements. The official reason for 22-year-old Cindy's disappearance is that she has tonsillitis, flu, and a chest infection. All of that one time, you get the tonsillitis, the flu, and the chest infection. But friends say that them are no friend, cause why them I tell the people them your business, that Cindy is desperately missing Marley and has flown off to a secret rendezvous in the sun to meet him. According to Rita, she did have to go inside and go to one hotel and wait till he come. Wounded, she was terribly upset about the recent gun raid on his Kingston home, one said. Marley, who claims to have 9 children by 7 women, then make sure them put in that part there, was wounded in the arm. Cindy, who won her title in London last month, has confessed her love for him again. She was allowed to confess her love. Big and bold in the people. I can't. So when people say that, oh, people are disrespecting, he allowed it. So it had to be some payoff, okay? Julia Morley, organizer of the contest, confirmed last night that Cindy had disappeared. You know, you said the woman have chest infection, tonsillitis, flu, and all of them something there. It says, she has had an awful cold for about 2 weeks now. She left London for the sun to recuperate. A sun she go for, yes? Miss Morley refused to comment on Marley. Cindy herself would not speak about this. It seems she already did, though. So naturally, I have to respect her wishes. She already did. I mean, she added that Mecca officials knew where Cindy was, but I'm afraid we cannot say. Then it said big and bold boyfriend. Since her crowning, Cindy has cancelled numerous dates and personal appearances in Manchester and London, and also withdrew from recording celebrity squares for Bob Monkhouse. Before she disappeared, she told me, I blame my cold on your weather. Because I don't want to take personal responsibility. I blame it on your weather. She said she was looking forward to spending Christmas in Jamaica. Remember, now she's doing tours. She's doing tours saying that she was, put me on the road, send me to everywhere, anywhere you want me to go, I'll show up and I'll be there. But now they're saying that you was frogging out early in your crown ship. I don't understand, but anyway. She goes on to say, she refused to discuss Marley, the black cult leader. Wow. Did they call him a black cult leader, fam? And a wild man of rock? When since reggae is rock? Wow. Then, quote, Bob's my boyfriend, but I don't want to discuss it. You already did. Why did you tell them that? It's private, and I'm not talking about it, she said. That sounds PR-ish to me, because you're talking about it telling us you're not talking about it. There was no triumphant welcome for Cindy when she arrived back in Jamaica. Many people, especially members of the government, were angry because she did not join the anti-apartheid protesters who boycotted the contest. So there is the paper. She got, so guess what? Another confirmed fact. Rita speaks about it, and we have Sedella speaking about it, and we have two witnesses dated 1976, 1 month apart, speaking about it. So join us for our next episode. I know this was a little reprieve from the reading, but it came up across my timeline and I wanted to dive in a little bit. So see you next time when we jump back into the reading. All right, one. Island Twist follows Jackie Brown, a young girl who finds herself head over heels for the new island boy at school in fresh outer yard, and Jackie has the fever. But as she navigates the ups and downs of her new crush, things quickly spiral out of control when her not so secret admirer becomes determined to sabotage her relationship. So check out the new novel Island Twist over on Amazon today. Now back to the story.